off my horn!
There it was.
Big black box.
Staring at me. I had to have it. I had to have it.
No one's fun anymore! Whatever happened to fun?
You were listening to And Just Like Crap with your hosts, Jay and John.
Hey! Welcome back to the broadcast, your favorite podcast. You asked for this shit if you're easily offended. We don't recommend it. You asked for this shit, so here it is.
You. I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch.
And Just Like Crap, Season 2, Episode 10, The Last Supper, Part 1, Appetizer. I'm John, this is Jay.
What's up, y'all?
What's up, everyone? Jay, we're almost to the finish line. We did it, kids, Lady Gaga.
Yeah, we're almost there. Hopefully we won't trip and fall right at the finish, but we'll see.
We're sticking with it. I wonder how many other people are.
That's a good question. Probably not a lot.
I don't know. Like I said, it's not really... I haven't seen the show written about anywhere of note or heard people talking about it, but we have a great community here. So if you'd like to join us on Patreon, we do extended episodes, uncensored, uncut at XXX, patreon.com/drag dungeon. Thank you for your support.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video.
Okay, so this episode opens up with Carrie and Aiden on like the gloomiest day ever, walking on the Coney Island boardwalk in front of a business that I guess Aiden and Steve are apparently going to be partners in that has never somehow come up before.
I know when Steve came up, I thought he was like a homeless man at first. He just... Hey, Carrie! Like, is he going to attack them? And why do these people act like they have no money? They all act like they're broke. Like, with this whole thing, like, couldn't they have, like, Carrie has $1 million. She could just throw money and make this thing happen. Like, it's her man. Like, do you know?
You mean Aiden? Why would Aiden be...
Well, they all act like they're broke, is what I'm saying.
Well,
they kind of acted like they didn't have any money when they're like putting this together. Like, I don't remember the comment that Steve made. They joked about making money off a Scout.
Right. Okay, because Aiden and Steve were partners in Scout in Sex and the City.
Yes, and they were trying to get this, whatever this new business together is. But the way they were talking was as if they didn't have any money. And I think Carrie has money, Aiden has money. I don't know.
Like, why bother with a new business?
Well, why bother or get it done really quickly? Like, if you have money, like, you could just be like, you know, or get it built and done and do it. Like the Golden Girls with the Knish stand or whatever they had on by the beach that burned down.
Yeah, burn it down.
Burn it down. Collect the insurance.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't they just open a franchise of Burger Kings or something? I don't know.
Why not?
It's just, I don't know. I want better for Steve. Let's see. Carrie remarks that the place looks amazing, even though it looks totally like shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Put some money in it, bitch, and get it done now.
And Steve says, it's going to take a lot of work to rehab this place because it's fucking old. And then Aiden says, so is Carrie.
Yeah, I know. Totally rude.
And she has no reaction to that.
She has no reaction. Yeah.
That caught me off guard.
So it's only Steve. Aiden's not involved in this business now? Maybe I'm confused. Like, is he not involved in this? It's just Steve?
No, I think it's Aiden and Steve partnering up, business partners.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, just making sure.
That's why they're there in the first place, because, let's be honest, why would they be just walking?
They're watching Steve work on it. They're like, just
on the plantation.
Riding by.
Yeah. Steve, so Aiden walks away to go, I don't know, pee in the ocean, and Steve and Carrie have a heart-to-heart about how he came to the decision to start this new business, etc., etc. Brady rolls up on his bicycle.
I know, with a bowl of pasta. from his restaurant that his little mouse friend made. Yep.
Miranda's boss is back from her maternity leave after only 5 weeks. That's pretty brief. Charlotte,
I mean, yes, that's very.
she's like, I just shat the baby out and was like, handed it off to the nurse.
You see the like umbilical cord dragging behind her.
She's like, okay. Charlotte is at the gallery. Oh, here we go. Charlotte is at her gallery showing the village people some art.
I'm like, Sam Smith, I'm telling you, they listen to our podcast and pick out everyone we don't like and put them in the show.
Everybody, they made a list, checked it twice. So like, here's everything people don't want. Let's do it.
It's like a hate salad. Like, bring everyone we hate into the show.
And so she feeds Sam Smith a line of crap about an artist's work to make the sale like, oh, it's more about, what did she say? It's like the artist puts himself into the work and it's ambiguous and it's just lets it speak for some bullshit.
Bullshit, yeah.
She would, in real life, she would not even know who Sam Smith was, let's be honest. Although maybe because of
bring reality into this too. Like, why do you have to bring reality? Like, I wouldn't be immersed into a fantasy land, and if you keep bringing these like outside names in, then it just takes me out.
Yeah, I remember when Jerry Halliwell from the Spice Girls made a cameo on the original show, and who's a bigger Spice Girls fan than me? And nobody, okay? But she was such a terrible actress, and she had like 2 lines, and it so took you out of the moment. It was awful. It was about Samantha was trying to get into the Soho house to use the pool, and Jerry was like, the pool is so fantastic. I mean, it's just, it was really bad. I hated it for her. Let's see. Harry is no longer moonlighting as a caterer. He's actually at the office, and Charlotte calls to tell him that he needs to drop everything and run a notebook to Rocket School because she's a busy working girl now and she don't have time for them kids.
Did you really believe they were actually talking to each other on the phone? I know they aren't really, but did you believe they were? Because it did not seem like it. This was really bad writing.
No.
Timing and everything.
And I didn't believe that there was a notebook that somebody... Isn't everything digital now? What are kids doing in school? Are there still books even?
I know, right? Isn't everything electronic? I don't know.
That just felt stupid. Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda and Lisa are having lunch, looking very cute. I think everybody looks nice. They're wearing colorful outfits. We'll talk about the fashions more at length later, of course. Charlotte tells the girls that Lisa's documentary, the one she's been passed out in front of the computer doing, has been picked up for 10 episodes by PBS.
Good for her. And I love how they like tease, like, are they going to mention the pregnancy? This is really good news. This is even better news. Like you keep thinking they're going to say the pregnancy and they don't. And you're like, oh, every time.
Apparently, we found out that she was pregnant the last episode, and we did not even mention it in our review.
We did not care.
I seriously did not even... I didn't hear it at all.
I think the reason is because that is such a cheap writing trope to have a pregnancy. Like any show, if you look back in time at TV shows, if there's like a rating slump or they don't know where to go with the character, they just give them a pregnancy. Or bring in a child. We've talked about this before.
For the season finale of every show is a baby or in a wedding.
Yes, or a baby or a wedding, right. Well, like a TV show might bring a child in. Like The Nanny, she got pregnant. She had a baby. Sometimes they'll have twins or triplets. And then they do all these cheap pregnancy jokes. Like, my water just broke on my shoes. Oh, I love these shoes. It's always like cheap pregnancy jokes.
And all of a sudden, all of the good comedy and fun and antics goes out the window. And each episode is no longer its own isolated story. It becomes this long, drawn-out melodrama about we're having a baby and I'm getting married. Yeah. It's just so boring. And let's address the elephant in the room, and we're not age-shaming, but Nicole Parker is 52. And I looked it up. Women over 45 have a less than 5% chance of getting pregnant naturally.
I thought it, but I'm like, you know what? Okay. I'll suspend my disbelief for this. And
she is an overachiever.
Right, she is. But, with the pregnancy jokes, which clearly we're not going to get to that, but it's always like, oh, I'm in pain, get me drugs. It's these always same jokes. I just want to see how annoying that is that they would even introduce this. And then for nothing to pan out. I mean, I don't know.
Any sitcom I've ever watched where there's a delivery scene where someone's having their baby every single one, I skip over the episode or that scene completely because everybody thinks that is the moment they're getting their Emmy. They think, I am getting this Emmy. The screaming and wailing, and it's just so... I hate it.
Right. Well, like, there's the Golden Girls with Blanche's daughter who goes to the sperm bank, and then she gives birth, and Blanche doesn't want to be there, and she's there, and she's screaming.
Sperm used to be free. It was everywhere.
Yes, and then the nanny, there's that. Then the Facts of Life, Blair's mom. Now, there's one. Blair's mom is like in her, I don't know, 40s, mid to late 40s. I don't remember how old she is. She gets pregnant, and there's that whole thing. Every damn series has had a pregnancy in it, I feel like.
I'm over it. I want a series with a cast of only barren women.
Right, that's like, they all announced.
I thought this was it. I thought we were safe.
Tricked us.
Okay, let's see. Lisa and Charlotte go shopping, and Lisa's like, please stop telling people about my PBS deal because I'm pregnant and I'm freaking out. It's just too much stress. Whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, absolutely not. I'm telling everyone.
She's like, this
okay,
is
friend.
my story to tell. This is my moment, Lisa. Che is at the vet's office and snaps at the vet for referring to her as she, but then sort of laughs it off with her trans coworker, which was nice to see a sense of humor from a comedian regarding that. Now let's move on to the sex.
Yeah, Che's pretty boring until maybe the end. I have a lot to say about that. But
me too.
Yeah, this whole working in a vet's office was so pointless. I don't really understand why they chose that. I guess just to make her seem nice, but she's still a bitch. I think it doesn't matter.
They were like, how do we get Che to meet an empathetic, animal-loving lesbian?
Right, they could have just put her in like a children's cancer ward or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, anywhere where she's like, maybe make, anywhere where she's saving lives, she could have been in.
Work with veterans with missing limbs or something.
Yeah, that would be good.
That actually would be doing something great. Okay, Anthony is having sex with Giuseppe. Anthony is topping him, sorry straights, and laughs when Giuseppe asks to top him. Now it's my turn to top you. Well, look, this is a whole gay conversation that we will talk about more on Patreon. This is not really the place, but Anthony says he's never bottomed before because he's not the woman.
That is so offensive.
It is
so
offensive.
Offensive in so many ways. It makes me hate him even more. And then his scene coming up here, I wanted to throw something at the screen. Like, I hate him now. That was really offensive.
I'm not the woman. And then Che peeks out and is like, actually, gender's a social construct,
Yes, that should have happened. Or maybe like what he says, I'm not the woman, like the closet, like a whole bunch of like breastplates fall out.
I'm not a girl.
My coconut. Anyway.
Anthony says plenty of gay relationships exist without penetration. That...
Lisai. He's a side. No, he's not a side, because he will...
By the way, I just learned that term recently, and I am so... Patreon.
Right, we'll talk about side. We're not talking about fries or mashed potatoes.
I have a big opinion about that also. We're very, very triggered by this whole exchange. Yeah. Okay, so, and then we go on to Seema, her sex scene. She's getting pounded by the Marvel guy, who looks pretty good.
They're not even sweaty. Did you notice that?
I didn't, but...
They were not even sweaty, and she looked pissed the whole time.
She did look really, relax, girl.
She's looked mad this whole season, maybe season, but definitely this whole episode, she's looked mad. Like, everything she talked about, she had this, scowl on her face. Maybe that's just her face.
Well,
I don't know.
She's just a Karen, even in the bedroom. She's like, I want to speak to a manager. He's like, we're the only two people here.
I thought she was I thought this, when she said, I love you, I thought she was, trying to get rid of him.
Right. And she didn't even appear to be drunk or under the influence of drugs. So and this is, by the way, a recycled storyline. Everybody knows it. From when Samantha was on ecstasy having sex with Richard, and she told him, I love you, Richard, I love you. And then the next day, she had this exact phone call with Carrie about, I was on ecstasy, I loved everybody. This is a completely repeated storyline, and I'm offended by the laziness.
I am too. I think I don't know if they're just thinking people are going to love this because it reminds them of Samantha. I mean, I guess that was a dumb thing.
It makes me miss her more.
Yeah, like that. Whatever. I'm tapping my foot. It makes me mad.
Miranda's leaving work with her boss from her day at the UN for whatever. And the woman is named Joy from the UN, and Miranda is clearly like crushing on her.
Right. Nothing ever happens with that, right? Like, what is the point of that character? Was there a point?
I don't know if we'll ever see her again, or maybe it was just showing that she is ready to move on, or that she is more attracted to women. I'm not exactly sure. I was just glad it wasn't Che.
Well, we already did that, though, with that woman who lived in the trash hole, the hoarder.
That's true, but her house was so gross. I think the UN woman looks like she has a nicer house. I'm just...
Well, hopefully. She did a better job.
Naya has been sitting at her kitchen table for the past 3 weeks of episodes.
Right, she has never gotten up.
I think they did this all in one afternoon. They're like, switch outfits.
Maybe the actor who played Naya broke her leg or something, and they just had her sitting the whole time.
I don't know, but...
Not to reference Facts of Life again, but that happened to Joe.
Jesus Christ.
Nancy McKeon broke her foot, and so she was still on the show, and she just sat on the couch the whole time.
You know what's a shorter list? What didn't happen on Facts of Life?
This is basically an updated Facts of Life. Carrie's Mrs. Garrett.
The Hags of Life.
The Hags of Life, for sure.
So, let's see. Naya tells Miranda that she's RSVP'd yes to Carrie's dinner party that she's having, which we see later, when an email pops up from her ex-husband Andre inviting her to, probably by mistake I'm assuming, to their baby shower with him and that Heidi slut.
Yeah, he probably like butt emailed her.
Yeah,
butt text.
Right, like she's just
they were
on
having hot sweaty sex and they fell on the laptop and accidentally sent an email to Naya.
I don't know. And then she thinks that the best way to show that she's moved on and doesn't give a shit is to buy him that several $1,000 stroller. I'm like, huh?
No, you will regret that, honey.
What?
Like, they will not care. They'll be like, thanks, bitch. And they will they will not be like, oh, I'm thinking about... They will not do that. This is a mistake.
You know what my gift is at your baby shower? That I tolerated you for the past 9 months.
Right, that I showed up.
Supported.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'll probably say something rude to destroy it, like I always do. Events like that.
Lisa is tossing and turning in bed, waking Herbert up, pissed that he didn't get a vasectomy after they were done having
8 years ago.
Their kids. And
God, she could be pissed 8 years later.
He promises he'll pitch in with the baby, but you can sort of tell he's like, let's just abort it. And he kind of like throws it out there that he's going to be supportive no matter what her decision is, and she's grateful for his support. So will that be the season premiere or finale?
Yeah, I don't know. I really like those. I actually kind of like those characters. They've kind of grown on me a little bit.
Well, they're definitely
Herbert
the
and
least
Lisa.
annoying.
Yeah, I could see them being, if they do another season, them staying. Not Naya won't. If they do another season, Naya will not stay. They run out of stories.
Naya is
She's
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. But so there's again, this is not that. I mean, clearly, pregnancy, abortion, that's something that women deal with. So we're joking a little bit earlier, but Miranda had the whole abortion debate with her, when she was whether she was gonna keep Brady or not from the original show, which Steve threw in her face a couple weeks ago. So I guess we'll get to see that again. Okay, Carrie.
Fun. How fun.
Isn't that exciting?
So good. They'll be like cheersing, like in that video that we won't go into. Never mind.
Okay.
The one where they just celebrated the law being passed. Anyway.
Oh,
go on.
right. Okay. Carrie has Anthony over and says, Stanford asked me to speak to you. He's staying in Japan. And then she holds up what looks like an AI-generated Stanford in a kimono, photoshopped, that was really unsettling for us viewers at home because...
Oh my god. Didn't he die? I think so. Yeah.
The actor is dead.
Yeah, it was hard to get into this scene. It was kind of touching a little bit. I thought that Anthony's reaction seemed off the whole time. Like, he was mad, but suddenly he was fine. Like, I just don't believe emotions are just changed that quickly. Just one little conversation.
Yeah. I'm like, so I guess, I don't know. The fact that they wrote a whole scene for this conversation to happen is depressing and bizarre and like a space filler. The only sweet part was at the end, Carrie sort of did the toast with her signature Cosmopolitan to Stanford's ghost, I guess. So this is kind of a way to just we don't have to talk about him anymore because Willie Garson is actually dead. So there really will be no chance of him coming back. So why do we need to keep talking about it? It's getting weird.
Yeah, and it was some kind of an odd way to like wrap him up that he's going to leave all of his belongings, everything he has, and go live with the monks or whatever he's doing. And then Anthony going, good for him. I thought he was being sarcastic because he was still mad because he was mad up until then. But no, I guess it's a little touching, I guess. Yeah,
I did love those scenes when Carrie and Stanford used to sit around and smoke cigarettes and have Cosmopolitans. Those were great times for us. But it's over. Carrie and Aiden are outside the Funny Bone to see Che in a non-binary Follies comedic something lineup. When Miranda shows up, I think uninvited. And she's I'm sorry.
No, she was very brave to go do that because she should know that if you're dating a comic, I mean, you could go listen to our Patreon. And I've told my friends this. You've probably been mentioned at some point in the 8 years we've been doing, almost 10 years we've been doing this podcast. You've been mentioned in some way, shape, or form. So of course, Che's going to talk about her.
Absolutely. The whole reason Miranda is showing up is because Naya's remarks earlier about, I forgot to mention this, that Naya was like, I wish I could just throw away my exes like you do.
Yes. Did we talk about the apartment with giving the apartment away?
Stanford and Anthony?
No, when Carrie giving the apartment away.
Did I skip all over that?
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
Oh,
we better, because we're going to get mentioned if we don't.
Oh, you're right. No, I must have skipped it.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, so Carrie is... Did she say she's giving it to Lisette?
Yeah, she said, because remember... Okay, so she says that... she's giving it to Lisette, and then Seema comes in pissed again. She's pissed this whole episode, and she's like, the luckiest girl in New York or whatever, and Lisette's like, are you going to call me that all the time? And she's like, yes, bitch. Pissed the whole time.
You fucking little slut. Seema looked great in that leopard, though. I love that.
Yeah, she did. Finally, she wasn't wearing, like, real brown.
So Seema said, or Carrie's gifting the apartment? Is that what she said?
Well, she's selling it to her, like, super cheap. And Lizette's, like, thrilled and then says, you get free jewelry for life. I'm like, that's, like, such a real gift. I mean, she could just go down to the arcade and get something from the claw machine. Like, she just give her a roll of quarters. Fuck this.
Carrie's accountant is pissed right now, or an idiot, because who would let? That's just financial. And then that just makes zero sense.
Well, I think she just gave it to her for cheap and didn't just give it to her, which I said just give it to her, but whatever.
But I mean, cheap for a New York City apartment is still, whatever.
Oh, well.
Okay, so let's get back to the Funny Bone. Okay, so Miranda was bothered that Naya was like, you can just throw your exes away. So to prove her wrong and to prove herself that she's, bigger than that, Miranda decides to go with Carrie and Aiden to the show. Che's new material is all about Miranda. Miranda tries to suck it up and be a good sport about it, but after several terrible jokes, she's had enough and leaves the club.
I mean, of course, Che's going to talk about her. And I like when Miranda showed up and, like, in line with Carrie and Aiden. I wanted someone to say off camera, hey, no cutsies. Like, I want some comedy into this. There's no comedy. It's even a comedy show when there's no comedy.
I'm not sure it is anymore. I'm serious.
No, Che is, like, not funny. And, before this, I think it was before this, where Che was watching the videos of herself, I guess trying to build themselves up, where she was, like, masturbating, look at the videos of themselves. Like, no funny there. Even less funny when she was Cheryl. Right, Cheryl? Wasn't that her name?
Cheryl.
And then still Cheryl. That's a drag queen. And then to this, still not funny. Like, even the jokes about Miranda then weren't funny. Like, talking about her, like, her clit getting hard and stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's just not my kind of comedy, but I was just not amused.
No, none of that was at all funny.
And if I were Miranda, I would have probably got up stage and slapped that bitch, like, Will Smith style. Like, I would not have even put up with it at all. Not even just stormed out. I would have, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What would I have?
Miranda should take an improv class or something. Start do her own comedy set about Che, because there's plenty there.
Yeah.
Maybe did I skip over Chase sitting at home and watching those videos? Maybe I did. Look, it's hard. This is hard to pay attention to.
It was really hard. Like, I forgot that I was even watching it many times. Like, I would just leave the room and be like, oh shit.
I'm
And I have
supposed to
come
pay
back
attention
in.
to this.
Like, it was hard to follow the whole thing.
So Che chases after Miranda, and Miranda just unleashes on her. And for a moment, we sort of see a glimpse of the Miranda we used to know and love, that's passionate and like, fuck you, and you treated me like shit. And I thought we were going to have a peaceful breakup and be cool, but then you went up there and you're disrespecting me and embarrassing me in front of my friends. So that was kind of hopeful.
Refreshing a little bit.
Refreshing, hopeful. Maybe we'll get more of that Miranda, see her get her backbone back, because, you know, so there's a whole book called We Should All Be Mirandas. But somebody wrote a book about the character, saying that, you know, basically she's the best character and we should aspire to be like her, not like whatever. I didn't read it. I'm just saying. Che's bald box of kittens stalker fan approaches.
Christ, when they came out. Like, I was like, go away.
And approaches her outside the club, and then they walk home together. And I'm like, this would be the perfect just ending to this character and storyline. Let's just let them go off, and if a bus happens to swerve, you know.
I know. Go on, run them over, or get all Batman style, Batman's parents. Did you ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight or whatever? Get shot. That's awful. I would never say that.
If one of those big cement gargoyles falls off the top of a skyscraper.
An anvil. Yeah. I thought maybe they were going to have sex behind a dumpster. Can I eat you out?
Right here.
Sure.
Oh, look, more kittens.
Ew.
Okay, Charlotte stumbles home drunk from a night out with her work friends. To her family's horror, Lily says, "Mom, you're so gross." And Charlotte's like, "Hey, I was a person before you. I was a person before all of you."
I love this scene.
I do too.
I have to tell you. So, you know, she goes to the bar after she sells that painting to Sam Smith, which... who really cares? And the thing that is, I sort of in my mind expected more from the bar scene. Like when she throws her phone into the blender, I really wanted him to turn the blender on and then like yell at them, and they're like kicks them out, and they're like woo, and they dance off to do 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 do, and then she then she stumbles home, and then I think the scene is so great because we get the old Charlotte. Charlotte looks great. Like I love what she was wearing.
She did look good in black.
Yeah, she looked so good and so fresh. And then her, like, you know, that lisp she has now because of too much whatever made sense. You know, her being drunk. So it worked here. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love this scene where she basically said to her family what the audience has wanted to say to them this whole entire series is fuck off. And she did it. So
now we've got Miranda back on track to being original Miranda, and Charlotte back on track to being her own person.
Check, check.
And I know some of the feedback we get is like, oh, you just want these people to be the same people they were in their 30s. And I'm like, well, sort of, yeah, I do. They don't have to be in the same circumstances, but I would like them to have some of the same personality traits. These are like, we were introduced to new people with this series, and that's what we mostly had the problem with. It's like, these don't feel like the characters that they used to. Circumstances change.
They should have some semblance of who they were. I mean, people do change, and people do change a lot once they have kids, but some of these people already had kids before, so they already stepped into that arena of in life where people change. Like, I've had friends that, you know, I hung out with until they had kids, and then I never saw them again, and I tried to get them hang out, and they wouldn't. And I really liked them. I've more than one couple in my life in the past. I was just looking at a picture on Facebook the other day of this family that I'm like, I liked their picture, but I remember when we hung out before they had kids, and afterwards I never saw them again. But we already went through that with them. They already started this change. So we should be at a place of nostalgia with them, and they just got rid of it all.
I have friends that are like on both ends of the spectrum. Like, some have kids, and like they never mention the kid, and you would never even know. They're out.
I love it.
Getting shit faced, and I'm like, mom goals. And then I have other friends that become like mom zombies, where everything is about the baby and pick up and drop off, and I'm like, look, I understand that that's your life now, but you have to. Can't you tell that we're all tuning you out? Like, this is so boring. Carrie and Aiden are in bed talking about the perfect life they're going to have together in the city and the country. And Aiden tells Carrie the reason he wouldn't go back into her apartment is because he was afraid he'd get mad at her all over again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, then you're a bitch.
He is a bitch. And the fact that they changed everybody so much, why couldn't they have changed him to make him a stronger person where he would not have a problem with this? I mean, he's gone through so much. He's gotten married and divorced, right? And then his kids, all this shit he's gone through. He should have been a stronger person, but nope.
He needs to get his levels checked. I just feel, I have an inkling something's awry.
Something's wrong. He has a chemical imbalance.
Kathy calls. Kathy, Aiden's ex-wife.
He's like, why is Kathy calling so late? I just have to answer.
Oh my, hold on, girl, it's Kathy.
You had to answer? Like, really? They're having sex, and he, like, grabs the phone with his toes. It's Kathy.
And Carrie's head's bobbing up and down, and he's answering the phone.
Right? Carrie stops pulling him. It's like, Kathy.
You're on speaker.
Tell her I said hello. Kathy on speaker. Tell her I said hi. Hi, Kathy.
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm having a flat teeth injection right now. Oh, honey.
So speaking of great mothers, Kathy calls to tell Aiden that their son Wyatt broke his collarbone. Remember, Wyatt's the one that FaceTimed and didn't want to.
The one who said his mom was being a dick. Could you imagine calling your mom a dick, even to your, not even to her face, like to your dad? Oh my God, my dad would have killed me.
No, not really.
Ugh, I couldn't.
And Wyatt drove Aiden's truck into a tree. I'm sorry, I don't know why.
No, this whole thing is funny and has nothing to do with the kid getting hurt.
It does.
Before we laugh our asses off, let's just say the kid getting hurt is sad, but that is not why this is all funny. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Okay, so, and so Carrie's sort of looking at Aiden like, well, what are you going to do about that from here? Like, just Kathy's a deadbeat mother. Like, let her just deal with it. Can't she deal with that crisis while you stay here in bed with me and live out our fairy tale?
That we're supposed to be doing, and now you're ditching me because you need to go get on a flight because your son. I mean, sure, okay, sure.
I feel like this is where they should have brought back what Carrie did in season 1 through 3, maybe, of Sex in the City, where they break the fourth wall and look directly in the camera and be like, look, audience, you've been waiting for this for 20 years, but his stupid kid broke his collarbone, so he's got to go. See you next week.
Right. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I get it. His kid is hurt, but to be like, he has to rush back. I mean, sure, the kid's collarbone being broken is bad, but it's not like he broke his neck.
Yeah, and by the way, Aiden didn't know the full extent of it at this point, so...
No.
I don't know. I know people are going to be like, if you were a parent, you'd know that if your child's hurt... Yeah.
No, if it was my dog, I would absolutely come home. That was completely understandable. But a child? I mean, really? No, I'm just kidding.
And the mother is there, let's not forget. I don't know what
the mother is there!
Carrie takes some clothes over to the new apartment with Aiden. And she's actually wearing a pretty cute outfit here, I thought. Did you like it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Describe it.
Like a blue top, a colorful skirt, and I think a pink sparkly bag.
Oh yeah, she looked cute. Like the about halfway through, we've kind of talked about this. The fashion's gotten better.
Yeah, I think especially this episode, there were several things that I did like. And Miranda calls to cancel. Says she doesn't want to because Carrie's having that final dinner party. She doesn't want to come, and Carrie's like, tough shit, you're coming.
Miranda, I mean, she has gone through so much. She really couldn't come and like not talk to Che. Just been like, fuck this bitch. Like, really. People are such friends.
I would pull rank at this point. I'd be like, I've been your friend forever. Fuck Che.
100%. Yes, Miranda should have done that.
Like
that, or had Che murdered.
Like me or her, choose. I have no problem doing that if I feel that strongly, depending on the circumstances. Yeah. Okay, so Aiden calls Carrie from the hospital parking garage, and he's a complete mess because his son Wyatt got in a fight with his flop-ass bitch mom, Kathy, got drunk, and drove into a tree and broke his collarbone and his leg in 2 places. And the story just keeps getting worse. It's like, he broke his leg in 2 places. He was drunk, totaled the truck. I'm like, damn, what else?
This was hilarious. Like, I could not stop laughing. I mean, he is such an ugly crier. I mean, ugly. You know, the drama mask, the drama comedy. He looked like the drama mask.
Totally. Yeah.
Like, he looked like Lock, Shock, and Barrel from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, he is the ugliest crier maybe I've ever seen in my life. I was cackling. It was so funny watching him cry.
It was not. Like, we couldn't feel any sympathy for him at all. It was just like, oh. It felt like a little kid coming up with excuses why they don't want to go to school. Like, my tummy hurts, my tooth hurts, my head hurts. Like, pick something.
My dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that was so funny. Now, again, it's not because the kid was hurt. I understand he's a parent and he's sad and he's worried. But would you, like, be weeping your eyes out in a parking lot because your son broke his leg?
I'm like, why are you in the parking lot talking to me then? Go in the hospital.
Right, for real. If you're so devastated, why are you out here? Go back inside. Weep over your son who has a broken leg. I mean, I get it. Something's clearly wrong with the kid. Like, he's going through some stuff and he drove the truck into a tree. I mean, that's all sad. But when you're crying like that, like, come on. It was hilarious. And Carrie's obviously uncomfortable, and I was really hoping she was planning her way out.
Carrie's like, I understand your kid has multiple fractures, but I planned a dinner party.
Right. Remember how I said we could be together forever? Well, forever, I didn't mean that literally. Now I think we should see other people.
If you're not coming, I'm calling Burger.
Oh, yeah. Everybody got mad at me when I said he was cute. Sorry, I do.
What if she just put the urn with Big's ashes at the table setting where Aiden was supposed to sit next
that
week?
would be perfect. They should have a seance as well at the dinner party.
Perfect.
They could scare up a few people.
So I didn't see in the preview if Aiden was going to be at the dinner party next week. Did you?
I don't know. I didn't watch the preview. I don't like previews, even for movies or shows or anything. I stay away because I like to be surprised.
What about Picom?
What do you think? Do you think he will be there, or did you already see it?
No, I didn't see it. I couldn't.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I think he'll be there. I think he'll be last minute. Like, he's not coming. And then he shows up. He's here. It'll be like that.
I don't know what I want for the future if there's a third season. We'll speculate more about this next week, I guess. But do I even want them to be together anymore? I feel like it's cooked. Like, it's over now. Like, where does this go from here? Are we always going to have to hear about the ex-wife and the kids? Because I'm not interested in that. I'm not signing up for that.
Could you imagine Carrie's life with him? With the kids, the ex-wife, and the farm, and all that shit? Wouldn't you just be like, God, enough. I'm sick of going to Virginia.
Yes.
Fuck this. Like, I don't want to go anymore. Like, I would get sick of it really fast. Did it say season finale? I bet it did. Because it, like, on the, and I didn't see what it said. Okay, I thought so. It wouldn't dare say series. But yeah, I would get sick of that. Like, I'm like, I do not feel like smelling pigs, even though I like pigs, but I would not feel like smelling a farm today.
Just spending half your life in the Delta Lounge waiting.
Oh my God, that would be awful.
I don't know.
Ugh.
What do we want for Carrie? I would love to know what the other viewers think. So please comment, subscribe, like. We're trying to get to 5,000, y'all. That's not a big request. Please just subscribe. We would appreciate it so much, and thank you again for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome back to the broadcast, your favorite podcast.